Hey all of you out there in Eorzea, welcome to She Heals I Tank, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. Today is Friday, June 12th, and this is episode 221 of the Shit Podcast. I'm your host, Vegan Pete, always by my side, the totally tubular...
Hey guys, Avi Ale here. How you doing? I'm guessing Pete's super amped for the new Bill and Ted's movie coming out.
I haven't even watched the trailer yet.
Oh, I have.
I saw it, and then I'm like, do I really want to watch old Keanu Reeves and that old guy that owes Keanu Reeves his career?
The other guy. So, actually my only complaint about it was that they made Keanu Reeves have a clean shaven face and
he doesn't look as good.
He doesn't look as good. It made him look older, and I was like, you needed to let him keep the stubble. That was super dumb because you made your main guy, who's your biggest draw, less attractive. Just saying. Final Fantasy XIV podcast here, talking about...
It's not all about looks, Avi. It's about those acting chops.
And Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures.
Of course.
Party time.
First two were masterpieces. Were there two or three?
Oh, wait, was Party Time Excellent? That's Wayne's World. Oh my god, you guys, it totally merged. Could you imagine that kind of a mashup? Wayne's World.
Isn't there always a rumor of another Wayne's World movie coming out?
Oh, I would love that.
Maybe if Bill and Ted's takes off, they'll do another Wayne's World.
I would love another Wayne's World. I would. Oh, but yeah, Excellent Adventures and Bogus Journey.
Oh yeah, there were.
That's amazing.
Two.
Thank you, Josquin.
All right, Avi. We took the day off last week. We took last week off, I guess. So that means that this is the first episode of the month, which means that tonight you should call in during the Community Roundup segment if you have anything that you would like to promote, either for yourself or you want to plug something for a friend. Just let us know. Join Discord, join the On Deck channel during that segment, and then I will bring you into live on air, and you can tell us what you have going on. So, like I mentioned, we decided to cancel the show last week because it just didn't feel right for us to keep on going with our little Shits and Giggles podcast.
Wasn't really in the mood to... it would have felt like putting on a face.
Yeah, to a certain extent, very much so. There were and still are bigger issues to talk about, and talking about Final Fantasy XIV last week wouldn't have felt right to me. I'm sure Avi feels the same way on that. And I don't really think we could have made it an entertaining show last week. The game really wasn't on my mind at all.
Yeah, writing the outline would have been painful.
And the only part of me that wanted to do a show was because I get messages from people saying how glad they are that we do the show and they can listen to get through their workday, and I appreciate that so much. So that's why I would have done a show, but it just didn't feel right. I don't think the show that we would have ended up doing was going to be the one that people were looking for or wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of anger flowing through me on Friday of last week, so I don't think I would have.
Flowing through you, so were you in Berserker mode or something?
What's the warrior thing?
Berserk.
Is that Berserk?
Literally what I just said.
No, it's something else. I just did the quest. Well, Inner Beast. There we go.
Yeah, and it's basically a Berserk. I'm not a warrior. You're the tank. You're the one who's supposed to know
I said
that.
I did the quest, but I skipped cutscene through. I was able to find a little bit of a release by joining a protest and march on Saturday last week. It was so nice just being around thousands of people that share your same feelings.
Wait, Chille just said I'm right. Doesn't Berserk turn into Inner Beast?
No idea.
Haha.
So it was nice being around some of the same people that share the same feelings and that were out there fighting for the same thing. And the fact that people are out protesting during a pandemic should tell you something about how serious this issue is. And I was glad to see that pretty much everyone I saw was wearing a mask.
Yes, that is always good.
I will say it was very hard marching and chanting wearing a mask. So I can understand some people would occasionally take theirs off so they can breathe a little bit. I kept mine on for the whole time. I never took it off.
I've had the instances where I'm out in public and I'm talking and they're just and I've repeated myself 3 times and they can't understand me. So I do the thing where I pull it away from my face, but I don't pull it off. I just pull it straight out so that I don't know, and then like air can come out the sides, and
You
then
don't
I
go,
like,
motherfucker, listen.
and then I yell at them. I'm like, I said this, and they're like, oh, okay. That's my only time but yeah, we're in California, as you guys know, and so for us, if you are out without a mask, you can actually get a ticket right now. So it is required to have a mask on you at all times, and I don't believe any stores will serve you if you don't have a mask on. So you can't even go into 7-Eleven without a mask. So just to give you guys a heads up on what it's like where we live, because I do know from friends living in different states and different countries that everywhere it's a little bit different. So I felt like it might be nice to tell you.
And it might be a law, but I haven't seen anyone enforcing that law.
The ticket side of it or the stores?
The ticket side.
Oh, I've had...
and I've seen people walk into 7-Eleven without a mask and they still sold them their shit.
Oh...
So, and if you go into a restaurant, you can't keep your mask on all the time. You have to take it off to eat.
Well, once you sit down, you can take it off. But at the grocery store, they won't let you in without it. They like turn you away.
Mm-hmm. So, what I was trying to get at with this, my story of the weekend, was for anyone that's feeling angry, maybe feeling helpless, or you feel like you don't understand everything that's going on right now, I want to urge everyone to seek out either a gathering or a protest. Do a little search in your area. Find one that's going to be over well before any curfews go into effect, because that always seems to be the time when shit can hit the fan a little bit. Look for one that seems to be well organized. Those are always going to be the most peaceful ones, the safest ones. If one is welcoming kids, you can pretty much count on that one being a safe one, because it's a bunch of parents bringing out their kids, trying to teach them a lesson and whatnot. So if you're confused about everything that's going on, you're just looking for some more information, I really urge people to go to one of those. A lot of them have speakers, so you can get to hear people's personal experience that can really give some insight to you if you're not sure about what the Black Lives Movement is all about. And this was a little cathartic to me because personally, I used to protest a lot. I used to go to protests against puppy mills, horse tracks, or horse racing tracks, SeaWorld, Fogwa. So getting back out there felt really good to me.
And I do want to point out, as someone who, like Pete commented, that he went out and protested, and we knew that he was going to be going on a 3-mile march, which is not something I'm physically able to do right now. So if you are not able to go out and physically go to one of these places, or you don't feel comfortable going out to one of these places, I'm sure you follow many people on social media, and if you find someone who's posting, topics about this that feels like someone you can reach out to and ask a question to, please do so. I do have to say, if you can, try not to reach out to the people of color first, because they're exhausted and it's not their responsibility to educate you. So if you do have a friend who's not a person of color who you feel can help you, that's probably a better place to start, because it is unfair to force all the people of color to educate us on why Black Lives Matter, and because they've been doing it their whole lives, because the resources are on the internet. They're there for you to look up on your own. And if you feel like you need help, just don't take more energy from them than you need to right now.
That's why it's good. Like, the protest I went on was a march, but there's lots of just gatherings where they have speakers. So
right, but some people's health won't even allow them to go out right now with COVID. True. So that's kind of what I was bringing up. Or they just don't feel comfortable going out right now. There are people who will
lots
talk.
Of resources.
I mean, if you guys can reach out to me if you want to on Twitter, I will totally. I am one of those people on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, trying to share stories and stuff to educate people. There are some links that are like one great link that links you to 20 others.
Tell her you'll only reach out in game. Get her to log on.
So I'll be posting links in game. That's not cool.
Just in case anyone isn't getting where we stand on the issue, we very much support the Black Lives Matter movement. We are against racism. We are against police brutality. And I'm sure I'll get a couple of messages telling me to shut the fuck up and stop talking about politics. But I really don't view this as a political issue.
Nope.
Maybe that's naive of me.
No, this is human rights. This
but
is
it is. But you get networks that aren't framing it that way. So, but personally, I'd like to believe that it's not an inherent stance of Republicans to feel that Black lives don't matter. So I very much view this as a human rights issue, not necessarily a political Republican versus Democrat thing. I think Republicans should very much be in support of the Black Lives Matter. Tweet it out. If you've ever said live free or die, you should be on the side of the protesters because that's what it's all about.
And actually, I do want to point out, because Aurora42 did just say share this, and I did actually read this as well just a couple of hours ago. President Trump rescinded the protections under the equal rights portion of the ACA that protects LGBT people. So it's not only Black Lives Matter, it's basically anyone who's different, anyone who is not like a WIC is losing their rights, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, and the protest I went to was also a pride protest as well, so we definitely had chance for Trans Lives Matter.
And I do want to point out, you guys, pride parades started as a riot.
Yeah.
Like, that's how that started, and that's how it got to the point that we can celebrate it. We are still fighting for equal opportunity, and again, we know this is a gaming podcast, but Pete and I always express our beliefs, and we just want you to know that you can talk to us, that this is what we believe, and if you disagree with us, that's okay, but goodbye. Like, sorry. People are people, and you should treat them as such.
You know where the metaphorical door is.
You should not be more upset about a dog than you should about a person.
So yes, everyone should be equal, and when there is a group of people that aren't being treated equally, we need to fight with them. So, but if you still want to send your messages, as always, send them to cowboy69@gmail.com. All right, Avi, let's get to some good stuff. Our amazing listeners, you were all supportive of us feeling the need to take the week off last week, so thank you so much. There were so many tweets of support about going to the protest, and even though we were off, being able to talk to everyone in Discord was so amazing, keeping in touch everyone that way. I even got a DM in Discord from someone saying how much they enjoyed the podcast and how much they've learned from it, so thank you to everyone for reaching out during this last week. It really means a lot. So we are a week behind on shouting out subs as well. So I'd like to give a big shout out to the following people. So we have all the recurring subs in this one. I feel like
Pete's going to have to take a super deep breath for this one.
I'm not doing it all in one breath. Jesus Christ.
I think you should. Try and do this in chili speed.
No. For 2 months, we have Exterminate, Batkid01, Gray Honey Badger, Raisna. At 3 months, we have Talon Broadband and... Nesalalaka.
I literally, you make me want to make a name that has no like vowels in it or something, and then subscribe so you have to read it on the stream. You guys should do that.
At 4 months, we have Unlucky Assassin.
Change your name.
Wongo Lafmo? I don't know. Kadoma 9. At 7 months, we have Allura For Real, Crow623, Fenris Wolfbane. I know those names. 9 months, we have Rathok, Ursa Laser, Johnny Smith Apple, Mieko FF14. 10 months, we have Raw Chicken Baguette. We always remember that one.
I love it.
Cater Pants. Chance.
It'll make you sick, but it was delicious.
Chance M5. 11 months, we have King of No Coast and Sweecy50 with the tier 3 sub.
Aw, sweetheart.
At 1 year, congratulations to Voxna7.
You got that crown.
At 13 months, Aurora42. 17 months, Ace Kaneki. 18 months, Broly489 and Hyper Pixie Gaming. 19 months, we have Shinter. 22 months, Vinjik. 29 months, Aurori. 29 months, Aja. 30.
Those are the same number.
33 months, Sorceress 180. And at 34 months, an OG, the real hot chili pepper. And before we get into this next segment, it looks like we actually have someone on deck already.
Oh.
So I need to make sure I have my settings right.
So I forgot how to put my makeup on after 2 weeks, and Pete forgot how to record a podcast.
No,
you know,
I didn't record. It's always Discord fucking me over. All right, so it looks like we have Cthulhu on deck. Cthulhu, are you able to hear us right now? If I don't hear anything, we're gonna have to drop you.
Can you hear us?
You were on deck. I don't know. I see you in chat. You were just talking.
Oh my god. I don't know how I got in chat. I didn't mean to.
All right.
That was an accident. I was just watching.
I do want to say, but by the way, so your name is it's Cthulhu ID. I just have to say, so Peter's sister collects Cthulhu, items, and her husband collects lobster items. So for the very first Christmas we had together, I actually painted them a picture of a Cthulhu lobster hybrid. And you just made me think of that. I know that's stupid and ridiculous. I just want you guys to picture that because it's even more ridiculous. I don't know.
Excellent. I appreciate it.
All right, Cthulhu, since we have you on here, what's your favorite job in Final Fantasy XIV?
Oh no, I'm the wrong person to ask that question. Blue Mage?
All right, going out on a limb, Cthulhu Kid said, Blue Mage, send all your hate mail to cowboy69@gmail.com. Thank you, Cthulhu Kid. I don't know why I said kid.
Because Pete, that's going to be your name now, because Pete likes to assign names to people when he can't read.
Apparently, it's not letting me bring him out of live on air, so you got to do that, Avi. Now,
bye, sweetie.
Let's get into everyone's favorite segment.
Greenleaf Minute.
I almost hit the tweet of the week button.
Why would you do that?
Just because that's my favorite segment. It's the Greenleaf Minute, and this week wasn't so much of a question, but Fenris in our Discord brought up retainer fantasias. They said, I didn't even know they were a thing until I stumbled upon it looking to see if I could change one of my retainer's jobs.
They are a thing, and they're like your glamour fantasia junkies friends.
There's another thing in that statement worth talking about as well, changing your retainer's jobs.
No. Let's talk about what your retainer looks like. I mean, that's what really matters
We'll say that.
here.
We'll talk about the retainer fantasias first, Avi. You can get these either by sending out your retainers on Quick Ventures or buying one off the market board. They're usually pretty cheap. Nowadays, under 10k gil. I bought one today for testing purposes for 1,000 gil.
You know, you could have just asked your wife before you did that because she's got like some of them in her inventory and she would have given you one.
I always sell mine.
I sell.
I've sold enough. I felt okay buying one.
Okay.
Once you use a retainer fantasia, you can visit a retainer vocate. Select the.
Pete, you have to explain how to use a retainer fantasia. What do you do? This is the Greenleaf Minute. I'm a Greenleaf. I don't understand how do I use it?
Okay, it's like popping a potion. You just right click and use it, or you can put it on your hotbar and use it if you prefer to do that as well. And once you do that, you can visit a retainer vocate, which you should know because that's where you want to hire your retainers, and select change your retainer's appearance option. And from there, you get to do what is basically visiting the esthetician when you go to redo your own character's look. You can change everything: race, hair color, tattoos, all of it, your voice. And when you're all done with the look, you even have the opportunity to change their name as well if you're unhappy with that.
You also can change their personality at this point. And I do want to point out that, so I went through like a Fantasia journey with my main character before I found the like look I really settled on. But I did have various variations of Avi that I really enjoyed, and so I actually used the retainer Fantasia so that I can have my retainers be versions of my character that I really enjoyed, but they're not like who I ultimately wanted to be, if that makes sense. I know it's not something Pete probably gets like at all.
Yeah, I just feel like you're totally self-centered. You're just like, I want more of me out there.
No, it's just like the version of like the character creation that I really enjoyed. And so when you are changing your character's look, you are able to load from the versions that you've saved.
Yes.
That was why I was bringing that up. So I made a point to like, and that was why it was kind of fun too, to have the different personalities you can assign to them, because I felt like the different looks that my character had didn't have necessarily the same Fantasia. Or not Fantasia. Sorry, you burped right when I said that. My brain went, Peach is trying.
They didn't hear that. That was just
it was
the room.
I heard it in the headphones.
They're more sensitive than this is.
But so the different looks had different personalities, kind of like you do, in most
I always
MMOs.
make mine independent.
When you have
You're
different
an independent thought.
Oh, I've got one who's like kind of like, what do you want? I don't remember which one it is, but she's just like harsh, and then the other one's like, I'm so here to please you. So it's just kind of fun to, I don't know, have that. So it's a thing you can do. That was my point.
So you can either make them all versions of yourself,
or do what Pete does.
I name them after your cupcakes.
Make them all sexy ladies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just like a cupcake. So yeah, you even have the opportunity to change their name after you're done with all the changing the look and the personality stuff.
But be
Because
careful if you've had those retainers for a long time, because now the names are harder to come by.
Yeah, I did see a thread when I was doing a little research on this that someone had been so upset when they were like trying to find a retainer name and they were all taken. They basically just smashed the keyboard, and that was their retainer name, and they're like, damn it. Like, I don't want that as my name.
When I paid for an additional retainer at one point, just because when we were moving servers, and I think I paid for a couple. Actually, it might have been like 2 or something. It was like 1 month's worth. I got sick of trying to find names. I knew they weren't going to be permanent retainers for me, so one of them was like A, B is the next one. I was just like, this is so dumb.
Icarus says, I'm kind of ashamed to say I have 6 retainers.
How many do you have, Pete?
I've got 4 total, so I pay for 2.
I pay for 1.
I do feel like he feels shame for 6. I feel shame for 2. Just 2. I do think like it's about time they give us a fucking another one.
Oh my god, I have to go rename my retainers. KK just said Avi 1, Avi 2. They're like different versions of Avienda. One of them's like Avi. Which is bad. But I like that better.
Cthulhu has 7
Farming the
monies.
monies.
So if there is one part that can be considered pay to win in this game, like if
why are you so burpy? What's on with you?
drinking beer, god damn, no one notices until you say
You've got these weird pauses happening right now that it's like, what is happening to him?
the physical condition. The fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, pay to win. I think retainers can be considered a pay to win thing because you can make a ton more gil.
Yep.
With many more retainers.
This is true.
What?
And the storage is nice. I mean, it's like the fact that they like hide freaking storage inventory slots behind pay to play elements.
But at the same time, like, how much gil do you need over 20 million gil? Like, how often is there something that costs you more than 20 million gil?
There is time. I'm like, I don't know if I've ever had 20 million gil. I'm not like poor, but I just, when I get to I feel like this is me in life as well. When I get to a certain point with money, I'm like, ooh, I really want to buy that. I'm going to do it because I've got this amount of money and I'm super happy with this amount of money. I don't need that amount of money.
Ooh, look at that. Chille dropping a Fantasia in chat.
Oh, sweetheart, thank you.
Just one more reason to join us live. Ooh, a physics dude says he's catching up on all our library of podcasts.
I'm so sorry.
Ooh.
I'm so sorry.
That's a rough journey, man.
Just got to 5.0.
Hope you get through it.
Ooh, all right. So retainer Fantasia. So it doesn't let you swap retainer jobs.
Yes.
However, there isn't a 1-to-1 job switch, which is what people actually want, because you're like, I've spent all this time leveling my retainer. I want to be able to go, oh, I've got a level 80 miner. Now I want him to be a level 80 bard because you're weird.
I think it's mostly like you started out the game as like maybe a paladin or something, because that's like a basic MMO class.
Did you just call yourself a basic bitch?
I'm a gunbreaker, thank you.
You're a paladin at heart, and you know it.
I'm a gunbreaker.
I still don't think of you as a gunbreaker. You're like paladin forever. Anyways.
Gunbreaker for life, tattooed on my back.
I don't believe it. So, so you can switch your job without using the retainer Fantasia. However, once you switch jobs, it's just like you do on your character, where it's like you've got to start over leveling it all over again. And if you want to switch back, it doesn't like save the level from the previous one either. So you can't like switch and then go, oh fuck, and then go back. You're stuck at level 1 all over again, and they're gonna have to level your retainer all the way back up to level 80. So like figure out what you want and stick with it. What I personally did was my retainer is I did change my retainer's job because it started out as bard, because I started the game as bard, and then when I became, I'll say, an arcanist, because scholar summoner goes both ways, one of my retainers is always lines up with my main, because that way I have one maxed out. And then because I have 3, one is a miner and one is a botanist. The reason I say to have the one that matches your job that you play the most is because they can only level as high as you level.
And it's nice to be able to put some of your old gear on them because they can get better stuff based on the quality of their gear or the level of the gear. So it's nice being able to put your old gear on them.
Mm-hmm. Also, Pete, so Physics Dude has a quick question for you, and the reason I'm interrupting is because they have to leave soon for their commute. So they're about to start their commute. And Pete, do you recommend a tank class for me to make as my first alt? Main is Bard, but I want to try tanking. Pros and cons for each tank job. I don't know if he can do that because he just started doing some warrior stuff.
Putting me on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
I will say from what I've played of warrior so far, that's probably the easiest from what I've gotten to. I'm only like in the mid 60s, but to me, that's pretty straightforward.
You get a big axe too, which is cool.
You get a lot of defensive cooldowns as a paladin, so that's always nice to have.
So is paladin like a boring tank?
And you get a self-heal as well. I actually don't think paladins are that boring anymore.
Would you call it like your basic bitch tank?
No, I'd call warrior that at the moment.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think warrior is
you got big axe.
Simplest job right now.
Ooh.
Right up your alley, Avi.
I mean, warrior's the tank that I leveled.
Thank you for that host, Treyland Gaming. Gunbreaker is, to me, Gunbreaker is like the monk equivalent of a tank. You're pressing a lot of buttons. There's a lot of off global cooldowns to use.
Do you want Icarus to come in and comment on Dark Knight?
You can if you want. Dark Knight is definitely my least played of the tanks, even though I had that to 60 before I had Warrior to 60.
Icarus says Warrior is the basic bitch.
That's what I've been picking up on as too.
So, I actually leveled Warrior because I leveled a tank just so I could get my Mentor crown, which I've lost, but I'll get it back someday. I honestly only chose Warrior because of the big axe, and I was like a tiny little Mikote at the time, and I just wanted an axe that was bigger than my character.
At that time, War was definitely like a
powerhouse,
permanent spot in a raid group.
Yeah.
All right, we got Icarus on deck. He's going to school us a little bit.
On Dark Knight.
On some Dark Knight, some maybe Paladin. Icarus, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Oh, you sound like you're in a trash can.
You do.
Oh, I do? Oh, no. Is it better?
Smaller trash can, but still in the can.
Oh, no. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, I'm muting him, Avi.
I would have said you sound like you're in a tunnel. I love that you went for trash can. That's where your brain goes, is you're talking to us from a trash can. All right, Oscar.
What a grouch. What were we talking about? Oh, did I comment on all of them? I think I did. Oh, maybe not Dark Knight. Dark Knight, I feel like Dark Knight, at least when I played it back in Heaven's Ward, that's like, I haven't played it since Heaven's Ward, to be honest. There was definitely a little bit more MP management back then. I don't know if that's still the case. But I feel like Dark Knights, we have a Dark Knight in our raid group. He does some pretty damn good DPS. So all the tanks right now are pretty well balanced as far as DPS. I think Gunbreaker, as much as I love it, definitely maybe tied with Dark Knight for the worst invuln. They both kind of suck. The Super Belied like just pisses healers off if you don't time it perfectly. Like if you do it right after their benediction, you just screwed yourself. And then for Dark Knight, their invuln requires them to be healed to full or else they will die. So that one's a kind of pain in the ass for healers as well. Icarus says he changed some settings. Let's bring him back in.
Aurora, I agree as a healer, Super Belied needs a warning. Like,
yes.
I'm about to kill myself.
I want a, like, you're not allowed to press, like, the game just makes it so you can't press it if benediction has been hit in 2 seconds.
Or, Pete, you literally just make a macro that goes off a second before, like, you press it, and then a second later, Super Blood goes off, or half a second later, you give your healers that moment to breathe of, like, I just pressed Super Blood.
No, I want the game to do it for me.
No, the game literally put that element in there for you to be able to do it. Oh, you sound worse, honey.
Oh, I sound worse?
Yes.
Oh, God.
You got a bigger trash can.
How about now?
It It's so bad. This is not your night. This is just not
you're,
or day
you're
or
a
time.
little like Charlie Brown's teacher right
You
now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's perfect.
I tried.
We'll talk to you later, Icarus.
Type it in chat. We'll read it for you. Type it in chat.
All
Well, they can read it too. All right, Pete. So you just talked about all the different jobs. Which one would you recommend?
If you like pressing a lot of buttons, I recommend Gunbreaker. If you like pressing few buttons, I would recommend...
They said they main Bard.
Main Bard? Well, that's like a standard MMO job, so maybe you want to start out with Paladin. Paladin used to be a little bit difficult to start with because you got your tank stance so late. Now they've changed that, so it's pretty easy to pick up. Go with Paladin.
Plus, you get the really cool wings effect, like the Save the Princess effect. I don't know what it's called because I don't Paladin, but you get
Save the Princess effect.
That's what Yoshi P said. Like, I'm not the one throwing that out there. He was like, "Stand behind me, princess, serve the princess." So like, that's always what I picture when Paladin throws out their really pretty wings. So if you want a job that's like, always viable, always like there, I don't know.
I will say maybe
pretty.
in a few weeks I'll have a little bit more to say on this because I am working on leveling my tanks. I've decided I'm going to level all my tanks to 80 just so I can get rid of some of the gear.
Yeah, I get that. I usually level all my healers and you like hoard that leveling gear for on the way. This past patch,
I always recommend like whatever your main job is, if you're a tank or you're a physical DPS, level another one, especially if you are pugging stuff, because you might find a group that already has a monk, so you need to go in as Dragoon, or they have a Paladin, so you can go in as Gunbreaker.
So what Icarus wanted to say was that Dark is all the good things about Warrior, plus you get Frey. I'm thinking TBN means Gunbreaker.
No, the Blackest Night.
Oh, the Blackest Night. I don't tank. Is the best mitigation tool, and AoE is pretty straightforward, fast-paced, and fun. So it does sound like, as someone who plays Bard, that Dark Knight could be a nice alternative as well. So Dark Knight or Paladin, I think, would be a good starting tank for you.
Yes. And
plus, with Dark Knight, you get to start at level 50.
And especially if you aren't
it's 50, not
into
60.
Stormblood yet, No, wait, you can start Gunbreaker right away, can't you? It starts in a Realm Reborn zone, doesn't
30?
it?
It starts as 30? Ooh.
Yeah, Dark Knight starts as 30.
Ball sack. That's some shit.
What?
30? I thought it was 50. Fuck.
Yeah, Heaven's War jobs started at 30.
Ah, damn. They need to fix that shit.
Well, back at when they were introduced, the level cap was 60.
I know, but it's not anymore. They need to fix that shit. Anyways. So, retainer Fantasia, right? That's what we were
I think we're done, right?
Okay.
With that.
So you guys,
if you want to change your job, all you have to do is talk to your retainer, and you can do reset, but it resets back to 1. You gotta, there's no like just transfer everything to another job.
I do want to point out that with the lack of content to not only play but talk about, Pete and I have discussed about making the podcast a little more free flow and just kind of chatty because we can't have as structured of an outline now. So if we do jump around,
we talked about it, and I said no,
and I was like, "Bitch, it's gonna happen." I talk over your face.
No.
So we'll jump around a bit. Hopefully you guys enjoy it because we're trying to,
I will say, if you still have your retainer as a class, if you haven't picked a job for it yet, like if you're still a thaumaturge, I believe if it's like a level 30 thaumaturge, you can be like turning it into a black mage and you'll keep that level, or you can turn it into a red mage and you'll keep that level. But if you're going from like a Gunbreaker to a caster, you're starting back at 1.
So Chille's upset, saying first we stole his snack podcast and now we're still in Moogle Go Round. No, Chille, because we're still talking about Final Fantasy. On Moogle Go Round, you guys just go crazy off the end. I don't even know sometimes. I love you. I'm kidding. All right, now it's time for everyone's least favorite segment.
Everybody's favorite.
No, that's my intro. It's
this is Avi's favorite segment. It's the tweet of the week. It is the tweet of the week. And this one comes from @DIY Overdrive. And this was a video he posted. So
This actually made my day.
I don't have the video, but I have the audio from the video that I can play right now.
So wait, first of all, I have to say, Pete responded to this tweet and didn't tell me about it.
I figured you'd see it.
No, that's not how it works. Because we share the same Twitter account, so we don't. If one notification goes away, the other person doesn't see it. So then I saw it later, and I was like, "Oh my god, that just like made my day."
So from DIY Overdrive, they tweeted at She Heals I Tank, damn it, with this video message.
Why am I walking around my office singing Greenleaf Minute? Avi?
Avi, respond. Why is he going around his office singing Greenleaf Minute?
Because it's really fucking catchy, and it just came out of nowhere, and we love you, and you love us.
And I said because it's everyone's favorite segment.
But if you do watch the video, even the way he recorded it was really cute. The way he like zoomed in, it was just really funny.
Yeah, I would have thrown it up on screen, but I'm always weary of doing that before I ask for permission, and I forgot to ask
And
for
Pete
permission.
procrastinates, so he didn't ask beforehand. And I'm gonna pour some ice in a cup, so Pete will be mad on the podcast
Thank
for the
you.
chinkles.
Oh my god.
I even dropped it on the ground. It's stuck in the bottom of the glass.
Oh my god. You're You know we're doing like an audio medium thing, right? Jesus.
You get to be drunk, like hardcore drunk on podcasts. I get to do annoying audio sounds for you.
Now it's time for news and notes from around the realm.
Oh,
Not a lot of news lately.
no. So much news, you guys.
And not to be confused with the producer live letter, Yoshida has penned a letter from the producer. In this letter, he touched on FanFest events and the next patch, and this letter was penned on the 4th. Unfortunately for North America, the FanFest has been canceled.
Shocker.
Think it's something we all expected to happen, but it's still disappointing. Yoshida stated...
I actually wasn't even disappointed. I was just like, it's about time you told us.
I was disappointed.
Oh, no. I was like, I know.
Disappointed. Heartbroken.
I knew. I was like, and you finally told us. It's like knowing your Disneyland trip was canceled and your parents are just not telling you because they don't want to hurt your feelings. You're like, Mom, I already knew.
Daddy Yoshida, why'd you do it?
You did. Why? Just tell me. Don't pretend. Just be honest and upfront with me. I know what's going on. I know money's tight right now, guys.
I'm like, lie to me. Give me hope.
Nope.
Yoshida stated the obvious, quoting, we ultimately feel that we cannot guarantee the health and safety of the attendees, performers, or company staff members who would be present at the event. But he does not leave us without a glimmer of hope, and goes on to continue, despite the cancellation of the San Diego event in November,
It was going to be so close. That's the only part I'm disappointed in. Like, we could have walked there, you guys. We could have walked there.
That's a long walk.
But we still could have done it.
We could have walked to the trolley station.
Yeah.
We have not given up hope on holding our next fan festival in North America. Plans are already in motion as we examine possible dates, cities, and venues for a festival in the first half of 2021.
Keep it in the same city and venue, please.
Keep it in San Diego.
Keep it here,
Thank you
because that
very
was
much.
super awesome.
Especially if you're hoping to have like a larger crowd, that's where you want to do it.
San Diego, please.
Jaskrin says, I hope they are still able to do it in San Diego for next year. Cthulhu says, I was totally going to go, if possible, because it was only an hour-ish drive.
Well, you know, California has done a really good job at managing its COVID cases. So I do think it's a good state to still consider for the Fan Fest in 2021.
San Diego is one of the quickest opening up counties, though, in California.
Don't say that.
So...
Stop coming to vacation here, Arizonians.
I'm,
Stop it.
Cautiously optimistic, but I don't know. We have been good, but I kind of feel like San Diego right now is like, we shut it down really quick, right?
Yeah.
And we got it under control. I feel like where we are right now is the point where we shut it all down to begin with. And if we're not going to do the same thing again,
it's going to go
back up.
So
I'm like, we had one person test positive at work at the very beginning.
Yep.
Nothing since then. We just had another one this week.
Yeah, I know. I admit, so, okay, off top, we're going into COVID talk now. So as you guys know, I work for the Navy, and my supervisor is in direct communication with the commanding officer of our base. No, and I was talking to him today, just kind of chatting. I was like, well, all the people in Arizona come to San Diego for vacation. Like, this is a well-known fact. Like, it's a very common thing. And because people are not taking these COVID situations seriously, they're still going to come here for a vacation. And he just went silent. He was like, oh. Like, and I just kind of was like, you're going to tell the base commanding officer about this now, and we're going to pause all the opening that we were doing. This is going to happen, right? See, thank you. Rec Liam says, Arizona resident confirming everything. We all go to San Diego. I heart you.
I went to Arizona one time for a Padres game.
I drove through it once. It was really hot.
I drove all the way to Tucson, and it was very hot.
Really
Can
hot.
confirm. Also, worst baseball stadium.
I drove through it in September when I was driving a 1963 Corvair that did not have air conditioning. I actually stopped at a gas station and bought a styrofoam ice chest with a block of ice in it and put it under my legs to try to cool off while I was driving. Because I'm classy.
Damn, Arizona. You crazy.
You hot. Yeah, it was 112 degrees today. Nope.
Damn, 112 and it was out with 80 pounds of pack.
So anyways, we were talking about hopefully, FanFest in
San Diego, like Arizona may be more open, but it's not that fucking hot in San Diego. He does, did I say he leaves us with a glimmer of hope? Yes. They are already looking for new dates, cities, and venues. Hopefully still San Diego, because America's finest city. What more do you have to say about that?
I got cool points for my car. I loved that car.
He also goes on to say, in adhering to the safety guidelines and requirements set forth by national and local governments, it is likely that future events will experience a number of restrictions. As such,
You think?
Such, we are not only exploring a physical event, but also looking into alternative ways to realize the event digitally.
After the announcement that Comic-Con is going to the at-home for July, like they're doing a digital event, I really expected FanFest to announce the same. I do think that like they're not gonna do this digital version of it when the San Diego FanFest was supposed to happen. I think they're going to keep trying to push it off and hoping that each subsequent FanFest will be able to happen in person. And I also believe that they're not going to be able to happen, personally.
Japan seems to have a pretty good handle on it.
That doesn't mean they want people coming to their country who don't.
I think it's based on a region.
I'm just saying.
Because I think I don't think Chille was able to actually buy a ticket when he came here. It had to be like a press ticket. And I don't think we could buy a ticket to European FanFest.
So Icarus would have to buy us like the Japan FanFest tickets and we would pay him back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, same with Chille. Okay. So it's like a local, regional thing. You just got to know people.
You got to get the hookup.
Got it. Hi, Icarus. Hi, Chille.
As for other fan fests in Japan and London, Yoshida states, meanwhile, preparations are underway for the fan festivals in Japan, scheduled for December, and Europe, scheduled for February. As with North America, we intend to carefully monitor the state of the coronavirus pandemic and proceed with events as the situation dictates. So, I don't know. Ours was scheduled for November, right? So I would imagine we'd have a decision on Japan's FanFest in a month or two, and then Europe in 4 months, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we should be finding out about those soon. Moving on to the patch.
You don't even have like a special different note on this, or did Yoshi just like move on to the patch?
I mean, it was a short letter. He just moved on.
So it's in the same letter.
Yes.
You're normally very big on your like title elements of your outline, and there was no title, so I was confused.
We're just keeping it free form, baby.
It's so hard
Is that
for
what
you though.
Said? Moving on to the patch.
I said, did I have like hang tens? Like
you were basically in the Bill and
handshakes?
Ted movie. He says all the staff has finished up setting up their work from home stations and things are starting to progress as normal. He goes on to explain, quote,
Wait. So people have just finished setting up their work from home stations?
This came out on the 4th.
That still took them a long time. Okay.
Japan wasn't in dire situation as we were.
True.
If you consider our usual pre-pandemic development production to be at 100%, we are currently sitting around 85 to 90% capability.
I actually understand that. And I feel like, so anyone else who's working from home, I just have to say, like, I feel like not everyone, but a large majority of them feels like you have to overcompensate for the amount of work you're doing. Like you have to do more because you're working from home and you're worried about the assumption that you're doing less or you're goofing off because you are working from home. And so they're putting in more effort. So I feel like Square Enix employees are no different.
Yes. And he says the missing 10% can be attributed to work from home network issues, reduced debug efficiency, and the general stresses of adjusting to this new work environment, a gap we mean to close as time goes on.
Can I just say, I'm so sorry,
your
Square.
Damn family messing with you while you're trying to work.
I feel bad for the Square Enix IT support. I feel you, honeys, all of you helping all of them getting working and going. It is hard. We appreciate your efforts, even though no one else does because no one sees what you do but the employees of Square Enix. I see you, and I feel you, and it freaking sucks as an IT professional.
Get back to work, network monkey.
Oh, I hate you all.
He continues, we have progressed from an almost complete halt in development to a near full operation, which means towards the end of next week, I'll be able to conduct what we call a producer-director check and begin a thorough playthrough of main scenario and other content.
So Icarus actually just commented that he has a friend who works at a different division at Square Enix and said that it took a while because certain processes and other elements took time to set up for at-home use because everything was actually locked to the building and was not accessible from outside.
We actually did talk about that in a past
the servers
thing.
and stuff like that, like the private servers. So there was more to move than just like the computers themselves. So they were able to like work on their computers, but they weren't able to actually like test anything. So
I feel like
that
Square Enix was more secure than your actual government shit.
Well, they locked that shit down.
Because I'm like, oh, she's just leaving her computer open. I can go to that shit all the time.
I trust you. Also, that's just one of the networks I manage, sweetheart. God, you're getting me in trouble. Now I'm not going to be able to update my shit anymore.
Drop the sweetheart on me. Listen, sweetie, you don't know nothing.
No, sweetheart.
Where did I leave off? Oh, he continues. Our Q&A team in particular has been hit hard by the loss of its regular workspace and won't return to full capacity until partway into June. With support from every department, however, they are making progress with patch preparations and the Final Fantasy XIV team as a whole is working full steam ahead. Originally slated for a June 16th release, patch 5.3 will be delayed by more than a month at the very least.
I understand, but I'm so upset.
But we are pushing to keep that delay as short as possible. We will announce a new release date in the near future, so please stay tuned. Lastly, may I once again extend my heartfelt sympathies to everyone affected by this pandemic and wish to all who have fallen ill a speedy recovery. So those are the words of Yoshi P himself.
That was a very, even though we interrupted it, I guess I interrupted it like a dozen times.
We.
Hey, I'm the larger part of the we. And comment on the larger part. Oh. I'm about to cut a bitch. So Esper's my bet is July 21st. I feel like we should start a pool. That's what we should do. Oh my God, you guys. So we're going to start a betting pool, but all it's going to be
is
we're
going to bet.
We're going to give away a code, a game code. And so we're going to do a betting pool for when the patch is going to release, and we'll work on that, and we will post it very soon. And so what?
Patches always come on a Tuesday.
Oh.
So there's going to be multiple people with the same answer.
Well, no, and then if you pick the same answer, then those people will be like random judgment, and the person who wins the raffle.
Split your peacock.
No. No, then it'll be a random thing based off those people. So like, which Tuesday are you going to pick? We'll list all those Tuesdays.
So if you get a right answer, anyone that has the right answer
has
gets
a chance.
entered into a pool.
Yeah. And then that way, so it's like everyone's a Tuesday, and you could only enter one Tuesday, and then we'll do a raffle. I think that's really fun.
Is this going to be by Twitter, so we have a record of who posted their dates?
We will announce how we're doing it on the next podcast, but it'll give us a week to figure out how we're going to do it. But I totally want to do that. I think that's really fun.
Sounds good.
Aurora just said that splitting the peacock sounds like something you would need to look up on Urban Dictionary.
It is definitely a threesome sex move. Splitting the peacock.
Oh, what happens when you fan the tail?
You don't even want to know.
Okay. By the way, Pete, just so you know, because I'm sure you didn't see it, Chille is on deck, but is here for Community Roundup, so there's no rush.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what time it is, Avi?
Why do you start every segment? Every like intro music is, you know what time it is?
You know what time it is. What's up, guys?
It's time for, you know what time it is? It's time for. All right, Pete.
Should I start every episode like that? What's up, guys? Just be a YouTube video.
No.
You here for some Final Fantasy 14 hot tips and tricks?
I know, Icarus. I actually pushed the button to make it do that. I'm like clever like that.
I feel like this isn't as loud as it used to be.
I think it's plenty loud in my ears.
I just hit the wrong button.
So I know. I thought that was on purpose. That wasn't on purpose?
No.
That's amazing. All right. So I have started pulling up the lore questions that Pete got wrong to see if Pete can get them right now.
And give us a little bit of feedback. I told her this segment isn't about me. Like, I'm for the haha, I'm so dumb part of it. But
I think that
you guys want to learn some more stuff as well, so she needs to get new ones.
I don't think so. I think it's also enjoyable to see if Pete actually got less dumb and remembered the things.
No, did not. I have not grown my knowledge.
So I feel like this particular question is a really easy one, and I probably said that the first time I asked it. It's originally from,
Asians.
It's from one of your favorite episodes, Pete. Episode number 169. So, Pete, it's a multiple choice. House 4 Tom's symbol is represented by what?
Are you kidding me? Fleur-de-lis.
I'm gonna slap a bitch. And by bitch, I mean Pete. A unicorn. B, a bell. C, a rose. Or D, a rook/tower.
Are you kidding me? Fleur-de-lis wasn't even an answer.
It's not even.
I thought I nailed that one.
KK even says this was mine.
All right, I wasn't listening. Give it to me again.
Shocker. Okay, what house was I asking
4
about?
Tomps.
There you go. Their symbol is represented by a unicorn, a bell, a rose, or a rook or tower.
Is Horchafont part of the 4 Temps?
Mm-hmm. Which is why you should know this, because you know what his motherfucking shield looks like.
Horchafont was a dumb motherfucker. So what does dumb motherfucker's symbols look like?
I'm gonna slap him so hard, you guys.
I'm gonna go with Rook.
Are you serious?
That's the only one I could remember.
Unicorn, bell, rose, or rook?
So you're saying it's not Rook?
It's not rook.
It's not a unicorn. There's no unicorns in this game. Bell?
There's no unicorn.
A bell is a basic bitch symbol. We'll go with the rose.
So Peach just saying that like this was not entertaining for you guys. I think this was as entertaining for you guys as it was for me. I mean, chat's laughing pretty friggin' hard at this.
I know there's a fucking unicorn we can ride.
Yes, there's 2 actually.
I'm gonna go with rose. Is it a fucking bell?
It's a fucking unicorn.
It's a fucking unicorn? Who has a fucking unicorn as their fucking sigil?
House 4 Toms, including Horchafont.
Damn. Stupid house.
You guys. How did you not know this?
Why would I give a fuck about what House 4 Tomps had on their sigil?
Because, like, seriously.
Should be a fucking lightning bolt. Got hit by it. Broke his shield.
Oh, because it shows up at, like, over and over. You see it all over their building. You see it all the time on all the drawings of
all the times that I have to go back to Heavensward.
Oh, God, Pete. Okay. You can get grumpy at me, but you see it a lot, honey.
I don't think so.
It's teaching Pete lore.
I've never seen a unicorn
So
in this
chat,
game.
please let me know because and you guys listening on Twitter, if you do not enjoy
Listening on Twitter, by the way.
I'm sorry. Listening, respond on Twitter. Whether or not you enjoy Pete trying to answer questions he's previously gotten incorrect. So Pete, what is House 4 Tom's sigil?
Bell. Attached to a unicorn.
There you go. It's like a dog. Oh my god. KK says he loves it. They love it.
I mean, who doesn't love laughing at stupid people?
You're not stupid, you're stubborn. It's kind of the same thing, but not entirely.
Time for a discussion, Avi. Took a forum post because I wasn't sure if we were going to have enough content today.
We're doing pretty well. We're
yeah.
at about an hour.
I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that sub,
Physics Dude. Oh, by the way, Pete, I don't know if you saw that Physics Dude did say that he was going to start with Dark Knight. So Icarus knows more than you.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. That was not the one you suggested.
I don't care. I'm just happy someone's playing tank. I don't have to be right.
Oh, we know. So, discussion, forum post.
Forum post. This was posted in the official forums on the Lodestone.
Uh-oh.
Title was, White People Still Use ACT Knowing They're Breaking TOS?
The way you just said that, I thought
Hey,
you said...
I just said it like they wrote it, okay?
No, I heard you say, white people still use ACT knowing...
Fucking white people.
Knowing that it breaks terms of service. So
It's
why...
only against terms of service if you're white. I'm sorry.
Yeah. White people. Oh, Crow heard it too. Okay. White people. God.
I think we just... I don't know if we had started recording yet or not, but you definitely made fun of me with my white... my whipped cream.
His whipped cream.
Why people still use ACT knowing they're breaking TOS. And they spelled there wrong. Should be they are.
Yeah.
The body of their thing said, seeing streamers using these on stream and also non-raiders, aka group parties / dungeons, maybe Final Fantasy XIV needs to add their own version of parsing to remove need of add-ons / plugins.
Okay, my response to this is Square Enix did respond to this, and their response was the land of sand and crap bullshit little dummy that you hit.
Land of sand and crap and bullshit.
And I remember because I did it like once, and I was like, well, that's a waste of time.
It's called Stone Sky Sea.
There you go. I got one of them.
Actually, that's what the first one
No,
was
I didn't get
called.
any of them.
The names got progressively worse. I'm like, why did you not just keep the same name and just be like Stone Sky Sea?
I knew it started with an
Heavensward,
S. Like
Stone Sky Sea, Stormblood. Like, but no, they changed the name every time and they got dumber and dumber.
Pete, have you gone back to it since the initial release of it?
I did it for Shadowbringers.
Did you feel it was useful?
I've always thought this was useful because actually I think it's useful for DPS. I don't think it's tuned well for healers and tanks.
It's not.
I
play a healer. It's why I don't use it.
But I think if you are a damage dealer and you're looking to see if you have the DPS to go into a savage content, it's helpful. It doesn't give you your number, but it gives you a straight pass or fail.
Chille just said I use it as white mage. Shut the fuck up. You're a DPS.
White mage is a DPS.
Stop trying to pretend you're a healer. We know you're not. Don't even.
So yeah, I think it's very helpful, especially for DPS. Just for a pass or fail. Yes, you have the DPS to beat it, or no, practice more.
I know that I personally like that's cool to know that in like a perfect situation I have the DPS. I mean, that's like if I play black mage and I go in there, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna have the DPS to do it, but that doesn't take into account like all the movements and everything into it. So like
that's true, but that's like much too involved.
Well, no, it's not, because someone did it as an add-on, so it's obviously able to do it.
The add-on doesn't tell you if you have enough DPS to pass it or not. It tells you what your DPS is.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is I would rather know what my DPS is in the actual fight. I prefer the use of ACT ACT versus doing the Sanseer Sky.
That's my problem with, like, if they were to add a DPS into the game, it's like, okay, your DPS is 7,000 for this fight. What does that mean to you? Until you do any more research on your own anyways, to go look up what the first group DPS is to beat the fight, and then you kind of have to break it down to what the DPS are responsible for, what the tanks are responsible for, what the healers are responsible for. A number tells you nothing.
Right, but how many people are using ACT that don't already do that research? So, like, if this was a function in the game that you were able to turn on or off, like you could see it or you could not see it, you'd turn it on if you understood what it was there for and why you were using it. I also use it because I think it's really fun to do 24-man raids if I'm playing a DPS and be like, yes, I'm gonna beat that bitch. I'm gonna DPS you. DPS so much better than you. It like actually makes content you've done a bunch of times more fun because you make it an internal competition as long as you're not a dick and you don't verbalize that to anybody else.
And I'm also very much against them if they were to put in some sort of parser and then not give you any sort of ranking. Like, this is very much pass or fail. You can have it or you don't.
That would be fine.
But I'm also against them saying you suck at something and not giving you a way to get better. So we've talked about the site FFXIV Analysis, where you can put your parse into there and then it will give you a report of what you can do better. Like, if you're not using your off global cooldowns, it will tell you what to use.
Pete, look, there's unicorns in game. There's 2 of them.
What?
In game, they're standing next to you on unicorns. Sorry. Chat just went, oh, look, a unicorn.
Just looks like a horse to me. But yeah, if the game gave you some sort of way to improve, I'm okay with it. But I hate when, like, you don't want the game to tell you suck.
I also
and
don't,
then not give you a way to rectify that.
But the thing is that the way I don't want a game that's going to hold my hand so hard that's like, in order for you to get better at your job, you need to do A, B, and C. No. Your DPS is either up to par, it's not up to par. If you want to get better, that's up to you. And you can do that by looking online because there's so many content creators that have already done the math for you. But now you at least have the tools to know whether or not.
You should do that if you're not going to put that information out there yourself. You can't rely on people going to other outside sources.
That's what MMOs do all the time. Every MMO I've ever played, that's what they do. Content creators are the ones who do the math to tell you the best rotation, the best builds, the best everything. The game itself never does that.
Yeah, but those games also don't give you a resource that says you suck.
I'm not saying it's like a you suck or you failed. Like, you are doing sufficient damage to, like, cover. Well, like, basically all it has to be.
This question was about should they add their own parser.
So Pete, all it would have to do, and the parser in ESO does this, is it tells you, and
there's no inherent parser in ESO.
It's an add-on that people use. So it's similar to ACT. It tells you the percentage that you're doing, okay, of the damage of the group. If you're a group of 4 people and you're playing a DPS and you're doing less than 25% of the damage, that's the bare minimum because that's a quarter of the damage, then you're not doing enough of the damage. Why is that a difficult thing to tell somebody?
I mean, it's not difficult at all. It's just they don't want to put a tool in there where people can grief other people for it.
Right, but it like, okay, never mind. Then you're literally going to a completely different subject about, like, the griefing side of it all. I wasn't even going into the griefing side of it all.
I mean, in a perfect world, I would love to have something in this, but I think if they're going to add a parser that tells you, you know, where you are in your percentage, and if they're letting other group members know.
I wasn't saying letting other people the other group members don't need to know yours.
I know, but if
they only need to know
if you see your own and you're like, dude, I did 40% percentage of the damage, you all suck.
But you know what? Most of the people that are already at that level are most likely using ACT and are likely going to grief already.
But the problem is, I don't feel like it's the people that use ACT like right now that much at all. Like, there's a couple bad apples, but like, if you were to have it all the time in whatever content you do, there would definitely be more people griefing in dungeons.
Okay. I don't care if the game implements it, but I do think the game doesn't need to make it. I don't feel like it needs to be against terms of service. I don't think ACT.
And Yoshi P has basically given you the wink wink, just don't grief people, you're not going to get in trouble for ACT.
So like it is one of those gray area things. So that's
for me, it's like we have ACT, they gave you the wink wink, you're not going to get banned for it unless you grieve for people, so why are they going to waste time making their own?
Right. And Icarus just even commented, I don't see top players griefing. It's usually those bad mediocre folks who are trying to make themselves feel better and are therefore toxic to others, which you're going to find in any situation in the world. Silent burp again, Pete. You can't talk, so you're gonna like hold in your awkward burp. Cool.
Content drought, Avi. We're in it. It's gonna last at least another month. I feel like if you don't raid right now, you don't craft. How bored are you?
If you're like me, you're not logging in unless it's to look at your really pretty peacock mount that Chille gifted you.
So look at pretty mounts. And like MMOs, I think like the big thing that keeps MMOs going is just like the conversational aspect of it. You like to log in with your friends, but in the age of Discord, you can talk to all your friends in Discord. There's not as much need to log into the game. Mm-hmm. So that's, I don't know, good or bad depending on your perspective.
It's good for the players. It's bad for the game, I guess, because, you know, you can still keep in touch with all the players.
And it's maybe bad for people who still like enjoy logging into the game. Yeah, sure, they love talking to you on Discord, but maybe they also miss playing with you as well. And that's definitely valid. But it's a difficult time because you can't. What incentive is there for players to log in right now? I mean, I log in because I still haven't beaten Savage, but you're not into clearing Savage right now. Mm-mm. There's no relic weapon to work on right now, so there's no reason on that front from you. And you actually enjoy doing relic weapon type stuff.
Well, I didn't in Eureka.
Yeah. Let's walk that back a little bit. Avi not only loved waiting for fates for her character, she loved waiting for fates for my character.
I didn't love it. I did it for you.
You loved it.
So a lot of people, Alyssa just commented that my friends sometimes kind of log on and just end up doing nothing, but we talk even though we have Discord and play with glamours or whatever. So I was kind of trying to do that in the game where I was logging in kind of just to have a presence, and I'm very much like a type A personality where I personally need something to do. Whether it's around our house, whether it's in game, whether it's something like I need something to do. And so for my personality type, it's very hard for me to log into the game just to socialize when I can socialize with you on Discord all day long and then paint my cabinets in the meantime, or, you know, like do something like grow a garden and then like IRL. Like, I don't know. I find that I can do those in-game things and like be productive and still have that communication. And for me personally, I prefer that than just, it's almost like the reason Pete doesn't log back into Dark Age of Camelot is because you're going to be disappointed. And I feel like
I don't know, but I'm scared.
You will. So I feel like right now for me logging into 14, just there's nothing I really want to do, and so I'm afraid that I'm going to log in and be bored. And I don't want to like be bored because the only things I have to do are the things I've already done.
Yeah. Because there's always something in game that you can do, but it might not just be your cup of tea. Like, Avi's not into Savage raiding right now. Mm-hmm. And
people are talking about Blue Mage. And so Blue Mage is about collecting. I'm not a collector.
Avi and I tried to do Blue Mage together.
Yeah.
And like just leveling Blue Mage, neither of us were into. A couple months ago, we were like, hey, why don't we give Eureka another shot? We went into Eureka together. I mean, it's definitely better than doing it solo, but it's like you kill 60 things for the challenge log and you're like, this is fucking stupid.
So like the addition of Discord has given me the option, like the opportunity, because I feel like because we do this podcast, I do feel obligated to play 14, and I do love the game. It's not saying I don't enjoy the game, but I feel like with this super content lull and the addition of Discord, it's given me the permission to keep contact with all these people I really enjoy communicating with and playing with, and then to like play Witcher 3, which I just downloaded, and to play, Dragon Age Inquisition, and kind of play all these games that I never allowed myself to play because we recorded this podcast. So it's kind of giving me the chance to not lose contact with these people, hopefully, if you guys still contact on Discord, and then to try other games at the same time. So
yeah, and for you specifically, it's like you enjoy doing Palace of the Dead, like trying to get to the top floor for a couple tries, and then after that it was like, yeah, we tried. That's enough of that.
Well,
like,
for me, video games are like visual books.
And you've read it.
And I've read it. And so that's what's really hard for me, is it's a book I've already read multiple times. And so I want to read other books. And that's the biggest thing for me.
And you're like, I need the next chapter.
Yeah, I need the next chapter. I do. So I don't love the game any less. I just, I know what's going to happen. I know
like,
the outcome.
What are you going to do when you're waiting for the next Game of Thrones book? You're not going to keep rereading them over and over and over again.
No, you'll go nuts. You read another series. So that's KK's just posting 777.
I want her to play 7. That's actually one of my next topics. I've just been playing through 7 on my...
Well, you've been, again, going back through all the older Final Fantasies.
Yes.
But this is the remastered one.
I started with 10, original, 9, 8, all original, or remastered, sorry.
Yes.
And then I decided, hey, I'm going to play the Final Fantasy 7 remake before I play the Final Fantasy 7 original.
Well, you just need a break from all the older games.
Yeah, I was getting a little sick of the old playstyle type thing, and oh my god, Final Fantasy 7 remake, I love the battle system, the combat system on that. And yes, this was all due, if you enjoyed all of my streams of Final Fantasy 7 remake, they are all due to the Real Hot Chili Pepper over at Moogle Round Radio, because when that game came out, I was furloughed from my job. I was not getting a paycheck. And Chili was so kind enough to gift that to me, so thank you again for that, Chili.
Video game friends are real friends.
All of that was due to Chili, and so I beat that on last Sunday. I had an absolute blast playing it, and
you guys, he's playing it on his own time now on hard mode. He loved it.
One thing I didn't utilize enough or get creative enough with my combinations was materia when I was playing through it for the first time. So I have been having so much fun trying out different combinations, seeing how much they help or don't. And it also made me realize how absolutely boring the materia system is in Final Fantasy XIV. I would love it if they took some time and revamped the materia in Final Fantasy XIV to make it a little more interesting. And to be honest, this is something that I just thought of today, so I haven't fully fleshed out what my plan would be for this.
So how about rather than discuss that, Pete?
It'd be more of a, let me get your feedback. How would you like to change it?
Yeah, so how about you just bring that up as a content? Why don't you guys let us know if you could change the materia system in Final Fantasy XIV, what would you do? And if you could send that to us in a tweet or an email or on Discord, we'll talk about it next week, because I do think that's a fun thing to talk about, because it is such an essential piece to every other Final Fantasy game, but it's not really
Chili said,
important to
I'm
14.
going to try to bring it up as soon as I'm on.
Oh, and then I told him, nope. Yeah, so please think about that and share your thoughts with us, because again, we have a very big content lull. So let's talk about things that we would,
And just as a little primer for you
that.
guys to get you thinking, I was going to say right now, materia in 14 is very much set it and forget it until the next patch. I really wish there was more of a variety. I know we used to have elemental materia, and even when that was in game, no one really used it. I think getting rid of overmelding is just annoying. I don't like blowing up tens of millions of gil of materia for my crafting gear. That's just annoying. I don't feel any sort of accomplishment
That's
after
why
I do that.
I don't even do it. So yeah, let us know. I think it's a great idea, Pete.
So I think if they
Yeah.
make like permanent spots that you're not blowing up tens of millions of materia, it's okay that once you replace it, you lose that piece of materia.
Sweetie, I love you, but you're going too far into detail for a topic we're going to talk about next week.
No.
I just got flipped off, you guys.
Yes. So I think they need more of a variety of materia.
Okay, sweetie. I just said we're not talking about that this week.
Dude,
Stop it.
are you
Yep.
woman-splaining to me?
No, I'm just shushing you.
God damn.
This
All
is a good topic for next week.
Now it is time for the Community Roundup part. Oh, I didn't do that right. Now it's time. Community Roundup, partner.
So we've got
I feel like
Chille.
I still did that wrong.
You're fine. Chille's on deck. Let's bring him in.
Chille, the guy who got me to play Final Fantasy VII Remake. How are you doing tonight, Chille? Uh-oh.
I'm not too bad, thank you. How about you?
I am good, Chille. Give me 1 second. Let me turn you up.
You're quiet today, Chille.
Try again, Chille. Don't change anything. I turned
Am I
you
better
up.
now?
You are better now.
How are you doing?
We are good. So what did you want to talk about tonight?
I want to talk about our previous episode of Moogle Go Around Radio where we had Mr. Happy on.
I was there for that one.
Who's that?
Mr. Happy 1227 is a Final Fantasy 14 content creator. You can check him out. Twitch.tv says Mr. Happy 12. Also Xehanort, I think 1227 on YouTube. Also, for some reason, it's not Mr. Happy.
So fast.
That was episode 98. 99 will be recorded next week, and we've got Fusion X from Gamerscape on as a
nice.
guest.
Very exciting. Yeah, it was actually had a slow.
Have you had any thoughts about who you might have on for episode 100?
Well, I'd like you guys on if that's possible, but
Oh, don't even. He's just putting you on the spot. You don't have to have us for episode
Dude,
100.
I
Chille.
already knew.
Oh, we are gonna. We are. Aw, really? I thought Pete was just being a jerk and putting you on the spot. You didn't tell me.
No, I've already split the episode because there's quite a lot of content creators we've had on as guests. I want on, so I've split episode 100 into 2 parts so that
Okay.
we can have some of the European content creators on like part 1,
Mhm.
and then the American content creators on part 2. That way you can have earlier on and later at night. So that way, on forever.
That's a really good idea. Thank you for thinking of us, Chille. We adore you.
Yeah.
And I know I'm so like I
Putting
even
North
said.
America number 2.
I think I mentioned on a podcast a couple weeks ago, like I cleaned out the closet over there and I found your statue that we got you at Comic-Con, the Dragon Ball Z one. I don't remember the name of it because it's your show.
Gogeta.
Yeah, and I was like,
Right.
but I was supposed to give this to Chille at Twitch or at FanFest, and now I can't give it to him. So
We
it's
just
Next
gotta-
Fan Fest.
We
Yes.
gotta hope that London happens.
2 more years.
and I still refuse to
Maybe.
put it in the attic. It's still down here, ready to go to give to you. It's not packed away.
Yeah.
It's still
we
like
just gotta go to London.
I'm okay with that. Super okay with that.
Well, I'm really proud of myself because we've had Miss Dosa on recently and Mr. Happy.
mhm.
And guess what? I got both of them to agree to if they ever come to London Fan Fest.
I'm gonna guess eating fried chicken.
Nando's! Yay!
Like I mean, you want to convince Americans to do anything? It's eat fried chicken. We'll eat fried food. You want to see fried food? Okay, we'll eat some fried food.
Is it fried? I
That's
thought
not
they were
really
like grilled.
fried, is it?
Is it?
Yeah, it's grilled.
Oh, I don't know. I just think
Yeah.
KFC. I think UK KFC and assume fried because everything is fried.
Nando's is like oven cooked on like a rotisserie.
Oh, okay, so rotisserie chicken.
There is some fried, but most of it is like rotisserie.
Don't they have vegan options too? I think they're
Yeah,
no-
they have vegan options.
Sure, they got some beans.
The only
No, they've
beans
got
worth
different, like,
eating
side
have
salads
pork
and
in
stuff
them.
like that.
All right, Chille. So you had Mistoso, you had Mr. Happy. Who'd you say you got planned next?
Fusion X from
Fusion
Gamerscape.
X from Gamerscape. So Muko Go Round Radio doing crazy stuff. Be sure
I'm
to
so happy for you guys that you put so
listen
much
to
effort
them.
into
Thank you.
like the leading up to the 100 episodes. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
So how do you feel
Uh,
about
one last-
finally hitting your 100th episode?
Nervous.
Oh,
Gonna be a big episode.
It's
be a
gonna
lot.
be
I'm not good
amazing.
at planning. Okay.
neither is Pete. It's okay.
Thank you, Aura. I guess it's a male thing. I don't know.
Maybe it's a male gamer thing. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I've never been good at planning. Paul's not good at planning. Pete's not good at planning. We all have a common thing right here.
That's what I said. It's the gaming podcast, the male gaming podcast. Or we're just gonna do it. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Anything I do is awesome, baby.
What was that, Chille?
But yeah, thank you, Aurora. Hashtag Chille is awesome, and Aurora is awesome too.
Yes, that's one of my favorite hashtags. The Chille is awesome one. Well, Chille, I'm really excited for you, and I think that's awesome that you guys are doing your 100 and you're having us on it. I didn't even know. Pete didn't tell me.
Wanted it to be a surprise.
Well, we haven't set times and dates yet, so we have, but not 100%. So.
Well, that's good considering it's not like it's tomorrow, and then Pete's like, by the way. Because I could see that.
It won't be till like the 1st of July, if I'm rightly.
Okay. Plenty of time.
4th of July, America.
So, Chille, what have you been doing in game with the content drought of late?
Rating.
What? Raiding, really. And I've been recently streaming on Sausage content on Beaumont, my ultimate character.
What have you been streaming? What have you been doing?
Giving out free meats.
It's started the game up so low level. Yeah, giving people meats. I literally just go up to people and trade them meat.
Do you want some of my meat? And then you walk away. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm amazed you
So
haven't
far,
been.
I haven't been banned.
You should try chub next. The chub is always the one to the fish. Would you like some chub?
That might be risking it. My character's name's Sausage content, and I go, "Do you want my chub?"
Oh my god. Only you, Chille. And he's a Lalafell, I'm assuming. Right? He's still a Lalafell. Is he still?
I don't think Chille plays anything but.
It's still a
Lalafell.
Lalafell, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, still Lala.
Of course. I feel like if you were like a God damn it, a Rogadin. I still want to say Galka. If you were a Rogadin going up, it'd be like, "Do you want some of my meat?" Like you'd picture like this big deep voice, and it would just be awkward. I don't know. It's somehow less.
I can't do deep meat. I just can't do it.
Want some deep meat?
Oh my god.
That's gonna go with my line of creaming, isn't it?
It is. It is. I can't do deep meat. Chille is pretty much up there.
Chille creams his pants when he gives out the deep meat.
You can't do the deep meat.
I think we're playing fucking Mad Libs here.
Oh, okay. So since it is the first episode of the month, air quotes, any other content creators you want to promote while you're here?
I want to give a shout out to Maelstrom Radio, who's doing a boyfriend and girlfriend streams with Flatus and Susan on Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, cool.
So they've been doing that recently. I'd like to shout out to you guys.
On our own podcast. I love it.
So in case anyone listening right now,
shehealsattack.com and www.sheheals. I was like, go get this.
If you're not
go
listening,
check them out and everything. Go check on Spotify.
anyone listening right now, if you've never heard of She Heals, I Tank, pretty awesome.
I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. All right, Chille. We got KK on deck, so unless there's anything else you want to add, I think it's time to pull him on.
Go check out KKMacleod streams as well. Bye, and also go enjoy this new mountain I'm dropping in a second.
Oh my god!
Make sure you follow them on
shit.
Twitch.
Thank you, Chille. Thank you to Chille. Now we got moderator extraordinaire KKMacleod here tonight. KK, how are you doing?
Oh my gosh,
doing pretty good.
Chille just dropped a peacock mount. I'm sorry, KK. You might need to run and do that.
KK's like AFK.
Yep. He's like, and bye, bitch.
Yep. All right, gotta go.
That's okay.
I'm all right.
It's the prettiest mount in game ever, you guys. It's so freaking pretty. I'm gonna do every stream from now on with my character on the peacock mount.
On the mount.
KK, thank you for joining us tonight. How are you doing? What do you have for us tonight?
Just gonna shout out a couple of things real quick. So for my community roundup, I shout out the Strange Rebel, aka the voice actress Aerith. She does stream very often. She goes through Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Pete
she
loves watching
doesn't
her.
necessarily need a lot of following. She's got a lot of people following and watching, but it's still an entertaining watch.
It is just very entertaining. Like, there's definitely parts of the game that I get to, and then I'm like, oh, I kind of want to see her response, and then I go look for it.
Exactly. There is a couple of rules there. It is a no spoiler channel, as well as a do not help. If she wants help, she would no back gaming. If she wants help, she'll ask for it. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, you need to equip this, you need to do that, you need to use fire here.
Don't.
So they get deleted. So
Good. Because
Nope.
there's like that's half the fun of playing the game is like let me learn how to play the game.
So definitely shout out to her as well. So where I got really awesome emote.
You got a lot of emotes from her.
Is it the 7 that you've been sharing? The one you're
yeah.
talking? Oh, okay. It's a very
There's tons of it.
shiny 7.
And then the next shout out is actually for Moogle Go Round, but specifically into sound bites. I checked this out, and it's where they review snacks and drinks and all these little things. And the thing is that they're pretty short little bits, so it's only 7 minutes long to just check it out.
Oh, that's
Listen
fun.
real quick. It's not huge commitment. If you're worried about like someone droning on for 30 minutes on.
So are they on iTunes? Like, where do you find sound bites?
Podbean.
Podbean.
Pod-
I want to check that out
I even
because
had to download the Podbean app just to listen to it.
Aw, I love the idea of like a 7-minute quick little listen. So that's something it's not like committing to like a 2-hour conversation about snacks. 7 minutes I can definitely do.
Exactly. Also the Maelstrom Radio as well. Like I said, boyfriend, girlfriend, men, similar thing as you guys. They're doing ESO. They were doing some Dark Souls.
Nice.
Chille says Soundbites is also on Spotify now too.
Oh my god, someone is driving by with a really loud car if you guys can
They
hear that.
can't hear that.
It was so loud it hurt my ears just now.
Okay, KK, anything else you want to shout out?
That's about it. I've been trying to do some more 11 streams every once in a while so you can see what it was like in
I'm so
older
sorry.
MMO, but it's in HD, so it's pretty fun.
Is it
So where can people find your
does
streams?
it hold up? Wait, I want to know, does 11 hold up?
It really does.
Nice.
I think it does. It's got its own just charm and uniqueness to it, whereas the job abilities, it's not all about just DPS, or there's a lot more thinking and calculation than it is, use this, and the next potency is this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more planning, there's a lot more looking into things. I'm learning more and more research just all the time, like, oh, I've been playing this all wrong, or there's like different kinds of haste to make yourself go really, really fast.
Cool. Very cool.
So,
That's awesome.
And
And so where can they
that-
find you again?
MacLeod at Twitch.
Twitch.tv/KKMacleod.
You were
Yeah.
cutting out. That's why I interrupted you. I'm
Oh.
sorry.
Trying to be close to the microphone.
It's
There
not.
you
Sometimes
go.
I just get angry.
Sometimes you just get angry.
No, technology does.
Technology, yes.
It's
Like you're kissing the microphone. That's where you gotta be.
Yes, that is where I'm at. It's a little closer than I'd like to be.
That's what
you
Pete makes
sound
me
good
do.
right now.
He's like, you're too far away.
Well, thank you, KKMacleod. I appreciate it. Everyone be sure to give him a follower. Always been an amazing supporter of She Heals the Tank and our moderator. So thank you so much, KK.
Thank you, sweetheart.
And banished to the On Deck channel.
Oh no.
A little bit of listener reaction that we didn't get to already. We have Leonard Thomas 32 on Twitter. Thank y'all for what y'all do with your streams and podcast. Your support is truly felt and appreciated. Hashtag Black Life Matters. Hashtag Blurred for Life.
I haven't
Thank
seen that
you,
hashtag. I like
Leonard.
Blurred for Life.
And Brian Collar at Photocyclist on Twitter in response to our little snack thing before.
The tacos and lemonade.
Avi is wrong. This one does not joke about food. No street taco vendors in Florida panhandle, so this one buys Happy Foodie in the frozen foods. Also, lemonade is only sticky for messy ones, and this one plays PS4 Final Fantasy 14.
You
Told you it wasn't a joke.
You're the cleanest eater of all time. That's all I gotta say. Tacos and lemonade. Although I am drinking lemonade while we record the podcast. I don't think I've spilled. So I don't know. So anyways, Pete, do you want to add anything else?
That's all I got, baby.
That's all you got. All right, so on the sticky lemonade note, that is going to be it for this episode. As always, We've enjoyed hanging out with all of you live here on Twitch, so thank you so much for spending your time with us. Be sure to hit that follow button so you'll know the next time we will be going live. And of course, a great big thank you to everyone listening to the podcast through iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify, and I'm sure there's going to be some weird app that comes out tomorrow. You really are the reason we keep making episodes. And of course, wherever you do listen, it would mean a shit ton to us if you gave our little shit podcast a rating or review. And of course, more importantly, tell a friend to check us out. Here with the ever burpy vegan Pete, I'm Abigail, and we will talk to you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Deep meats and sticky lemonade.